Hello everyone, welcome to this week's reading. So this is for the 22nd of May through to the 28th of May, and sorry about my voice because I've had a bit of a cold this week, but I am better now. And for the astrology, I'm just going to shuffle the tarot cards while I talk about the astrology. This week, there is actually a new moon in Gemini. So with a new moon in Gemini, it lands on 4 degrees of Gemini. That will be over the 25th, 26th of this week, so depending where you are in the world. And the new moon is always about a new start in some way. And have a look, if you know your chart, where Gemini is in terms of what house Gemini is in your personal astrological chart, and that way you'll be able to see what area of life this kind of new energy is going to be in for you. Now, the one thing that sort of really stands out this week is actually this coming weekend, Saturday, Sunday, when we will have the moon and Mars conjunct in Gemini. And let's see, it will also make an opposition with Saturn. So this could relate to, for some people, issues with travel overseas, probably the overseas connections or communications, because Saturn is in Sagittarius, and Mars and the moon being in Gemini relate to communications. And there could be issues with, for some people, family members, because of Mars and the moon is not the best energy when it's together. So also you need to watch out for kind of burning yourself out a little bit over the weekend, taking on too much, doing too much. For some people, it could be some problems with children. It could be as simple as, kids' behavioral problems flaring up over the weekend because there's so much intensity with the energy. There could be problems with communications, as I said. Issues with the media as well, because Saturn, in Sagittarius, it relates to the publishing, and Gemini relates to communications industry, so anything related to, news, radio, television, news reports. So, could be issues with the media, which would not be surprising. Square with Chiron, so it's a little bit of a wide orb there, though. So the square with Chiron, that could be a bit problematic. So I just see this week the main things are the new moon in Gemini, which represents a new start, to do with everything Gemini, which relates to learning, use of the mind, the logical mind, communication, siblings, even children. And then the weekend, the moon and Mars conjunction in Gemini, which looks a little bit harsh, and it makes that opposition to Saturn in Sagittarius. And at the moment, we only have one of the inner planets in an Earth sign, which is Mercury. So Mercury is there in Taurus, but we have a lot of air and fire at the moment. So just with that, I would say, you want to feel grounded in yourself at this time before making any, serious important decisions in your life, that type of thing. And you will want to try to do grounding exercises if you feel a bit spacey, because you can feel spacey under this energy, especially if you are a bit more of an earthy person. You can feel all this air energy as being a bit too much. So grounding exercise, putting your feet out on the sand or in the grass, those type of things. Doing a grounding meditation where you visualize yourself grounded and connected to Mother Earth can be very helpful as well. Alright, so let's look at the cards for this week, and if you would like a personal reading with me, just follow the links to my Etsy store below. The turnaround time at the moment is up to 7 to 12 business days because of my current workload. Okay, so let's see what's coming up for this week. Okay. Oh, the Magician. Well, that's so interesting because that's the Gemini card. So I love that synchronicity there. It relates to the new moon in Gemini. All about manifesting your desires and a new start to do with manifesting there. The Two of Wands is interesting. It's one of those dual cards, and duality is also represented by the Gemini energy, which we have a lot of at the moment. And it's someone's looking out there, kind of looking at a new start. So again, relates to the new moon in Gemini and a new start. And there's something that is coming soon, I feel I want to say. For some people, there's something coming soon that is very positive, but it's not quite here yet. And so you want to keep on working on what you're working on and just dealing with, you know, your routine as you have been doing. But there is something that is positive, I want to say, for some people out there. There's something coming in that's very positive. And, you know, with the Magician, it really talks about, you know, where you're at mentally and using the power of your mind to create your reality. And, you know, there's so much with that sort of thing, with focusing on where your thoughts are at. You can completely change your vibrational, you know, energy field based on your thoughts. If you're constantly immersed in negativity or exposing yourself to a lot of heavy energies through, you know, what you watch on TV, movies, that type of thing, it's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect your outlook on life and your perspective, because the subconscious mind doesn't have a filter. So you may think, oh yeah, I can watch all these horror movies and dark things. It doesn't have an effect on me. But the subconscious mind is like a sponge that just absorbs everything. So it can have an effect on you. This is about taking control of your reality through your thoughts first and foremost, and then manifesting into your reality what it is that you truly want to happen, not manifesting, you know, your subconscious fears. Because I feel like this is a very positive card. It's about working on, well, these two, they're all positive cards, about working on manifesting better quality of reality based on starting with your thoughts, okay? And, you know, as I said, there's a lot of inner planets in air and fire, which very much brings our attention to the thought realm and the thinking realms at the moment. The Temperance card always speaks of balance and, you know, measuring your emotions and watching your reactions. And I'm really drawn to the rainbow here, and rainbows always symbolize a new beginning. So definitely the focus is with the Gemini moon in this reading with these cards, because as I said, this card is the Gemini card, and you have 2 here, which 2 relates to Gemini having, you know, an energy of duality. And also she's got 2 cups, and she's pouring the water from one cup to another. I don't know if you can actually see that. The Temperance card usually depicts a woman, you know, working with the 2 cups there and flowing the water from one to another. And if you look at it carefully, she's actually concentrating and working with her intention to maintain the balance here. So that's really important. And you'll notice she has 1 foot on the earth and 1 foot in the water, which is about balancing emotion with reality and being grounded in that. So that is the advice for this week, to watch your emotions and you know, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Basically, to think through your reactions before you just blurt things out, and before you pursue a line of focus. Think to yourself, is this what I want to be doing? Is this how I want to be reacting to something? Is this putting out more negativity to the world, or is it putting out more of a positive focus? So yeah, very interesting. And that's all I wanted to say with the cards. So have a great week, everyone. Happy new moon in Gemini. And as I said, if you'd like a private reading with me, go to the links below the video. Thanks so much. Bye.